The TVWAN News is proudly brought to you by
BSP, our bank, our people.
Hello and welcome. I'm Maricela Kelleton. This is TV1 News.
And I'm Terry Longwood. Join me for sports later on in the bulletin.
In this edition, shaping the future of freedom of expression, LDC to implement IFMS, and DEM Cup issue pool draws. The United Nations has launched its global initiative, The Big Catch-Up, with the aim of vaccinating millions of children against potentially fatal diseases. The resourceful project is part of the UN's World Immunization Week, which is observed annually from 24 to 30 April. Vaccination is recognized as the most effective method of protecting communities from the ravages of diseases like coronavirus, measles, polio, and hepatitis B. These diseases can strike without discrimination or warning, have lasting consequences, or kill victims. UNICEF's State of the World's Children's Report 2023 drew attention to the importance of vaccine awareness and the need for confidence in the immunization process. The UN resident coordinator in Papua New Guinea, Richard Howard, said vaccines have been prolonging human life since 1796. Routine immunization coverage in Papua New Guinea has declined in the past 10 years. In response to this, a team from the Morobe Provincial Health Authority will start a measles, rubella, and polio vaccination campaign in Lae.
A public health team from the Morobe Provincial Health Authority has partnered with the World Health Organization to conduct a measles, rubella, and polio vaccination campaign in the province. Scheduled to start in Lae this month, the health team has pointed to a significant decrease in immunization coverage in PNG since 2005, saying in the last 5 years coverage remains at the lowest level. The situation was further worsened following the COVID-19 pandemic and the 2022 national general elections. As a result, the country is facing a very high risk of vaccine-preventable disease outbreaks, especially measles and polio, which can lead to serious health complications and deaths in children under 5 years of age. The team outlined that the top 6 provinces with 52% of zero-dose children less than 1 year old who have not received any form of vaccine are Medang, Morobe, Southern Islands, East Sepik, Enga, and Eastern Islands. Medang has over 200,000 children who have not been vaccinated against measles, rubella, and polio. Morobe, Southern Islands, and East Sepik have over 150,000 zero-dose children, while Enga and Eastern Highlands have over 100,000 zero-dose children. Children need to get 3 immunization shots before they reach 1 year old. Most parents are not aware of that, with the health team saying most times they get to immunize toddlers, children who are 3 or 4 years old. Accelerating routine immunization is now a top priority. Hence, a national immunization campaign is planned for all 22 provinces. This will cover children under 5 years of age against polio and 6 months to 5 years against measles, rubella. Vitamin A supplementation will also be given to all eligible children irrespective of their prior vaccination status. The nationwide vaccination campaign will be implemented for 3 weeks to vaccinate all eligible children in Papua New Guinea, with Morobe planning to take lead, starting in Lae District. The team has stressed that this immunization campaign should not be confused with COVID-19 vaccination. Frida Kana, TV1 News.
Today marks World Media Freedom Day with the theme Shaping a Future of Rights, Freedom of Expression as a Driver for All Other Human Rights. The Media Council of Papua New Guinea, in partnership with the United Nations Office and supported by the Media Development Initiative, held a breakfast with media houses to celebrate the importance of media freedom and the work of media in PNG.
The 30th World Media Freedom Day, commemorated today, is celebrated every year on the 3rd of May. A media breakfast held this morning with media houses was to commemorate the importance of media freedom and the work of media in the country. United Nations resident coordinator in PNG, Richard Howard, stressed on journalists in the country and how the sector needs to be improved as well.
And justice, of course. We cannot have justice in this world without free media. We have to, together, identify what's going wrong and who's doing wrong and expose that and have open conversations about that. But it's important that we recognize the responsibility of the media as well to deliver the facts, to allow the public, to support the public to make informed decisions on their country. This is really a big responsibility of media too, because it has to do with ethics. Are we following the ethical code of our industry? As well as address the ongoing problem, and this is not just here in PNG, of low wages and poor working conditions. We cannot expect people to perform professionally if they don't have adequate wages and working conditions. Far too often across Asia Pacific, journalists are one of the lowest paid professions.
He paid tribute to the 430 journalists around the world who sadly passed away last year due to their work of journalism. PNG Media Council President Neville Choi also emphasized on the human rights and spoke of how today is a day of reflection for journalists, editors and news managers.
Since then, the global movement celebrating World Press Freedom Day has grown, providing an inclusive platform to reaffirm the fundamental role of free, independent and pluralistic media, to take stock of challenges facing media freedom and the safety of journalists, and to raise awareness and foster partnerships to defend media from attacks, as well as to pay tribute to journalists who have lost their lives in the exercise of their work.
Jasmine Ero, TVWAN News.
The Media Council of Papua New Guinea has spoken up about plans moving forward in the country. President Neville Choi stressed on freedom of expression for journalists and the public and shared that the platform gives journalists an opportunity to emphasize the role of freedom of expression and media freedom as an enabler of all other human rights.
Plans moving forward include preparing for an annual general meeting at which will be held fresh elections of executives and board members, and a review and reconstituting of the MCPNG Constitution. Restoring the Media Council's membership and processes to include new media organizations and media specialists. Ensuring that the Council's Independent Complaints Tribunal is active and working. Creating more accessible training pathways for all levels of media practitioners, from orientation programs for new recruits to experienced journalists on the path to greater news management responsibilities.
The University of Papua New Guinea's Journalism and Public Relations strand celebrated World Media Freedom Day with the theme Shaping a Future of Rights, Freedom of Expression as a Driver for All Other Human Rights. UPNG public relations officers, journalism lecturers and tutors and students assembled for a float parade around the nation's capital with media awareness to the public.
The Journalism and Public Relations strand from the University of Papua New Guinea marked World Media Freedom Day, starting with a float parade at the UPNG campus and traveled to Boroko's Tabari Market to hold an awareness on the importance of media and the reason for media freedom and more. UPNG journalism lecturer and strand leader for journalism and public relations, Emily Matasororo, spoke about the importance of the event to the school and the strand.
A student activity undertaken by the students. Finally, students studying public relations and journalism, and the input into this activity today is to manage an event, and the event is the World Media Freedom Day. The journalism strand has, for the last, I think, 7 years, celebrated World Media Freedom Day. For this year, we decided to take it out of campus and take it to the people who we believe need this information.
Matasororo shared that the students included second-year students who were present to observe the day.
While we journalists, it's our duty to disseminate information, we need to do it responsibly. And the people need to understand the work of journalists all throughout the world, including Papua New Guinea. And so, we decided to bring this event. So at least our people have some idea of what journalism is about, what Media Freedom Day is about, what rights the journalists have, what rights they have as well.
Final year students who led the awareness included Zebulon Pidian, Zenaida Wasai, Terence Kapipi, and Kulala Balik. UPNG will then host an evening program conversing and showcasing from representatives from UNESCO, Office of Censorship, and the Department of ICT. Jasmine Ero, TVWAN News.
Police officers are on the fight to stop ethnic clashes in Port Moresby through police awareness in hotspot areas in the nation's capital. Awareness took place on Sunday, the first which also prevented a fight between different ethnic groups in Port Moresby. Police officers from Gordon Police Station headed over with community police officers visited the 8 Mile Last Block settlement to talk to groups of people from Chimbu and Eastern Highlands who had a confrontation after an Eastern Highlander died and several houses belonging to people from Chimbu were burnt. Police are yet to establish facts surrounding his death. Appropriate action will take place once investigation is completed, said Sika. Other ethnic groups were visited, including those from Enga and Hela, who also fought amongst themselves during the weekend. Meantime, the prime suspect who allegedly killed Senior Sergeant Ludwig Dondo with a bow and arrow on Monday, 1st of May, is still on the run. Late Dondo was with his colleagues from the NCD Dog Unit, went to the ATS settlement to arrest several suspects involved in smuggling marijuana when he was struck with a stray arrow. NCD Central Commander ACP Anthony Wagambi Jr. stated that 3 suspects were brought in by Central Police after community leaders at ATS brought them forward at 7 a.m. this morning. ACP Wagambi added that the investigation to the murder is currently underway with NCD Homicide. They are questioning the 3 suspects who are in police custody. You're watching TV1 News. We'll be back with more after these messages.
It was during and after COVID that really motivated me to want to take up life insurance. I think savings is very important, and I think One Talk Delight provides a disciplined approach to savings, and it's a good investment to want to think about the future, because it's always nice to have plans for what you want to do later on.
With you for life.
Whether we're playing sport, exercising for fitness, being active for work or play, just having some fun, or just chilling, there is one name we can count on that we know will keep us going strong. Skell Rice. Healthy, nutritious, delicious medium grain rice full of vitamins and minerals. Skell helps us maintain a healthy, active lifestyle so we can enjoy every day.
Skell Rice. Skell Life.
Hiya, Mama. You wait then, but me add him special flavor.
Put in more flavor, put in more taste. Magic Kakaro, get up and big smile on face. Time for Kim chicken, a great kumutu. Sip, sip, da mumu, yes, magic on you.
Maggi, the taste PNG loves.
Our journey starts with you. We'll be there from the start, right through to your life's adventures. We'll ensure comfort, and make your safety our priority. We'll take you to memorable moments, no matter where it begins. And we'll get you there like we've always done. The 4th generation coaster bus, more than just a bus.
A quick favorite meal for the day does feel good. Snacks noodles is my choice for a simple meal. It is easy to prepare and fast to cook. And with a touch of flavor and ingredients, quality noodles that can be cooked and enjoyed in many different ways. You see, my whole family loves it. It's made here in PNG and comes in different pack sizes. Snacks noodles, tastier but you like it more.
I changed up my look over the summer, and it did not go unnoticed. But Adam, more like damn.
My babies are back. Whoa, they aren't babies anymore. Damn right, I do all kinds of adult stuff. Why are you wrapped up like that? Mom swaddled me for warmth. I only got my babies for 1 week this summer. I'm making the most of it.
You're asking me for parenting advice?
I know, it's insane. Get the out of my house. Whoa!
When our children stay home too long, they turn into morons.
This whole thing's gonna end up costing you a fortune.
Marriage ain't cheap.
New South Wales are back. Oh, Cable's beaten them all. Here they go, Tahoe.
Welcome back. Kokoda Track Foundation recently hosted the close-in ceremony of the Light for Learning project, which aims to light up lives and futures across remote communities. Delivered in partnership and with funding from the Australian government's Powering Community Off-Grid Electrification Program, the Light for Learning project instills solar lighting and energy systems across villages that are home to students attending KTF's flexible open distance education centers in Oro and Western provinces. Solar units are installed in every home, school and post and community building in each community supported by the project. To date, Light for Learning has successfully brought light to more than 13,000 homes across villages in Oro and Western provinces. Additionally, 337 community facilities, including schools, 8 posts and churches have been supported with solar lighting and energy systems, supporting education, health and economic outcomes. After fire destroyed its office in 2014, Caritas Papua New Guinea, the Peace, Justice, Relief and Development Agency of the Catholic Church in PNG, celebrated a milestone event on April 26, 2023, witnessing the opening and blessing of a new office building in Gordon, Port Moresby.
The 22 bishops of the Catholic Bishops' Conference of PNG and Solomon Islands were in Port Moresby for the annual general meeting on 26 April, witnessed the opening and blessing ceremony of the new Caritas PNG office located within the CBC compound gardens. Bishop of Wewak Diocese and the outgoing Bishop Deputy of Caritas PNG, Bishop Joseph Rodzinski, presided over the blessing ceremony. National Director of Caritas PNG, Mavis Tito, said the organization had come a long way from a low point some years back to a comfortable place today, and the new office building is a testament to dedication and commitment by many. She expressed her gratitude to the bishops for their support and guidance throughout the years and for finally giving Caritas PNG a space of its own for expansion and growth in its mission to serve others. Tito acknowledged the appointment of the new bishops of Caritas PNG, Bishop Justin Ain Sungi of the Wewak Diocese as Bishop Deputy, and Archbishop Anton Bal of the Archdiocese of Medang as the Assistant Bishop Deputy. The bishops congratulated the officers and pledged their ongoing support towards the work of Caritas PNG. Caritas PNG was established in 1974 by the Catholic Bishops' Conference of Papua New Guinea and Solomon Islands and was known then as the Catholic Commission for Justice, Peace and Development. In 2020, the name changed to Caritas Papua New Guinea when it officially became a member of the Caritas International Confederation. Frida Kana, TVWAN News.
The Kutubu local level government headquarters at Pimaga Station will be transformed when the 15 million kina LLG Chambers is completed. The new state-of-the-art building is the initiative of the LLG President, John P.P. Kila.
It takes a man to lead than waiting on the government to come to one's aid. This is the strategy Kutubu local level government president John P.P. Kila uses when planning to build the Kutubu LLG chamber. On Tuesday, Mr. Kila presented a check of 5 million kina to Roxfield Engineering and Construction Limited to build the Kutubu local level government chamber.
Kutubu local level government council want the immediate put in 5 million. So me pay me go finish the contractor. Na cost long project, na sample building, na sample total cost and 15 million. Still stop yet. So chamber me go pass one them chamber and more than 5 million come. So another 10 million come more long building Pimaga station. Na chamber, na making big work come up long, take back PNG and most people like Pimaga come back.
Kila said all this infrastructure won't be possible if it wasn't for the leadership of the governor for Southern Islands, William Povey, and other stakeholders. He is calling on developers to assist him build the state-of-the-art building which will transform the image of Kutubu.
Thank you, Sabot, Governor William Povey, Southern Highlands Province. Me do thank you through Governor William Povey. Me do thank you through big blood thank you blow me golong Governor na member blow Niba Kutubu na Santos Planty Sabot you bless helping me na working work Kutubu now me like work one that you blah me like if you bless stop one that me saboting me now me got another 10 more million outstanding start 5 me put in finish na Sabot blow you blah. Mas come one day me na Kutubu local level government council, 18 black council, one day me ba work one day you black governor, one day my member, na Santos, helping me na work one day block it up in Himanga station.
Kutubu Chief Dabura Kamuna said such state-of-the-art building is overdue for the people of Kutubu and Bosavi. He added that Kutubu have been neglected for the past years, despite producing more revenue for the government coffers.
Vikila, you're doing well. You're doing an excellent job. That is what we want to see. Kutubu LLG, councillors, you will work one time. Give him the moral support, the political support that he needs. At the same time, I want to stress here, partnership arrangement is very, very important.
Freddie Moe, TVWAN News.
The Livestock Development Corporation has launched the implementation of the PNG government's accounting system, the Integrated Financial Management System, or IFMS. On Tuesday, May 2nd, the Livestock Development Corporation launched a successful implementation of the government's accounting system, the Integrated Financial Management System, or IFMS. LDC's Managing Director Terry Coim says this significant move to utilize IFMS for LDC's operations to cater for revenue and expenditure drawn from the national budget is a move in the right direction in terms of transparency.
So you talk about transparency and accountability. IFMS is the way to go. That's it. There's no secret about it. Otherwise, we will be scratching our heads trying to defend ourselves and look for excuses. You know, Papua New Guinea is a country full of excuses. They will always come up with excuses about where the money went missing. IFMS will make sure that your money doesn't go missing. IFMS will make sure that you become accountable and transparent.
Livestock Minister Sekia Gisa commended the LDC, highlighting the importance of now having a financial management system.
Since 1982, when Livestock Development Corporation was established, we have been under agriculture, which we are still under agriculture, as Secretary for Agriculture actually said. But because we were given ministries, so here we are trying to launch and have better public management practices, public management finance practices. So that's the occasion that we have.
Furthermore, Managing Director Koim also informed that the Department of Personnel Management has approved for the LDC structure to be uploaded on the Alasco payroll system as it now takes on a regulator role in the livestock industry. Chinese ambassador to PNG and Fenwa recently presented cartons of school books and a check of 300,000 kina from the government of the People's Republic of China to Erima Primary School in Astrolabe Bay LLG of Rai Coast District, Medan Province. He was accompanied to the Rai Coast School by a delegation from the Chinese Embassy in Port Moresby and Medan Governor Ramsey Pariwa. The 300,000 kina will help with the construction of a school office complex. Ambassador Fenwa also met with the chairman of Ramunico Management Limited at the company headquarters in Medan Town before proceeding to an official meeting with Governor Pariwa. This is TV1 News. When we return, a look at what's making headlines in the region.
There's a sense of pride when you're able to do something right, a financial decision that has just really good benefits. With BSP Life Insurance, there's that alleviation of that worry when you pass away. The benefits of the BSP Life Insurance would meet those expenses on behalf of my family. If you're young and you have kids, you owe it to your children to make sure they're not left behind when you pass on.
With you for life.
All One Talks add some excitement to your festivities with the Flame Easter Bonanza. Win a slice of a whopping 300,000 kina by purchasing the Flame Family Bundle Pack, which includes rice, sugar, flour and vegetable oil, all in one go. Highlight these goodies on your receipt and scribble your full name and contact details on the back and pop it in the entry box in selected stores across PNG. 4 fortnightly draws, 100 winners, 3,000 kina each. You don't want to miss out. This promotion ends on the 31st of May. Flame, strength and energy. Terms and conditions apply.
From the rich soils of the highlands, the finest coffee has been grown by generations of Papua New Guineans. Expertly blended and roasted with over 80 years of experience, making the finest cup of Nescafe New Guinea blend. PNG's own coffee.
He says the best Hunters players come from his region. So does she. But there's one thing that brings everyone together. SB Lager, Bunyamyumi.
Hardware House is more than just a store. It is where quality meets affordability, where culture is proudly celebrated. Spanning 9 provinces, we pride ourselves in offering top-notch customer support and services. We're more than just a store. We're more than a brand. We are Hardware House.
And it's just all so easy. They execute so well.
Welcome back. Disinformation, hate speech and deadly attacks against journalists are threatening freedom of the press worldwide, UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres said on Tuesday, calling for greater solidarity with the people who bring us the news. The appeal comes in his message ahead of World Press Freedom Day, celebrated annually on 3rd May, in line with a 1993 UN General Assembly resolution. The focus this year is on the connection between press freedom and overall human rights. He says freedom of the press is the foundation of democracy and justice. It gives all of us the facts we need to shape opinions and speak the truth to power. But in every corner of the world, freedom of the press is under attack. The Secretary General is away from New York, and a video of his message was played during a ceremony in the General Assembly Hall to commemorate the 30th anniversary of World Press Freedom Day. A new report from the Justice Reform Initiative says the Northern Territory's prison system is failing. It calls for funding to be redirected to evidence-based alternatives to try and reduce recidivism, prevent crime, and improve community safety.
Tyson Carmody has seen too many young Aboriginal men caught in a cycle of hopelessness.
What's the point of hoping for something more when I know when I get it it's just going to be the same?
For many, it's a struggle to see a life outside of the justice system.
Well, if we keep doing the same thing, and we're going to get the same results all the time.
A new Justice Reform Initiative report has found jailing in the Northern Territory is failing.
It's not working to rehabilitate, it's not working to keep the community safe, and it's certainly not working to address the social drivers of why it is that people come into contact with the justice system.
The NT's imprisonment rate is 5 times higher than the national average. And while most jurisdictions saw drops in incarceration in the wake of the pandemic, the Territory has seen a significant spike, with juvenile detention numbers doubling.
We're currently spending close to $300 million a year in the Northern Territory on locking up adults and children.
They're calling for that same figure to be invested over 4 years into evidence-based alternatives, which they claim will break cycles of crime.
There needs to be that partnership from the Commonwealth, because the Territory will never be able to do it on its own.
Advocates say the Northern Territory's high incarceration rates are the result of a politicised approach to justice, and they're calling for both sides of government to work together for change.
But it's going to take some, governments and everybody in the community to think differently and act courageously around this.
Desperate calls for a new approach.
The Minns government has begun filling one of its biggest election promises to give teachers in New South Wales on temporary contracts permanent jobs. Meanwhile, healthcare workers have gone on strike, demanding that the Premier acts faster on pay rises.
A walkout over wages. It's not a new fight, but it is the first action against the new government.
Broken promises made to us before the last election.
Workers at Tweed Hospital have accused the Minns government of being too slow to scrap the cap on public sector wages.
The Minns Labor government needs to negotiate proper wages and conditions.
We are going to remove the wage cap in New South Wales and replace it with an interest-based bargaining framework, but that will take time.
Chris Minns had his focus on another election promise to make 10,000 temporary public school teachers permanent. It'll start with 250 schools across the state where temporary teachers have worked for at least 3 years. It's expected to result in 1,400 new permanent positions by the start of next term. All 10,000 should become permanent by next year.
It feels good to have that job security and implement long-term plans too that I wasn't able to do, because you never know if you have the safety or security to be part of that school again next year.
This is my 3rd school now since 2016, and it's been yearly contracts where if the school doesn't have a position for you, they just say, see you later.
So the Premier has been quick to act on his promise of making more teachers permanent, but delivering on a promised pay rise is a much bigger ask. Conversations have begun with unions. Scrapping the salary cap, though, requires legislative change, and it's not on the agenda when Parliament returns next week.
The Albanese government appears set to resist calls from its own backbench for an across-the-board increase to job seeker. Instead, it will boost the payment for over 55s who struggle to find jobs in times of ultra-low unemployment. But the Treasurer says that won't be the only help for households.
This man's job just got even harder thanks to the Reserve Bank.
Afternoon, everyone.
Jim Chalmers to deliver his second budget next week, knowing he's about to disappoint some.
No government of either political persuasion can satisfy all of the demands.
Can I get a coffee too, please?
But one demand will be answered for some of the most vulnerable. JobSeeker is worth $693 a fortnight or $49.50 a day. But someone who's 60 or older and been on the payment for 9 months receives $745 a fortnight or about $3.70 extra a day. The government is poised to extend that higher payment to over 55s.
Particularly for the long-term unemployed. If you're over 55, it's harder to find a job, even when unemployment nationally is at 3.5%.
Unemployment benefits used to be skewed towards younger age groups. In 2001, just 2% of recipients were women over 55 and about 7% were men. Now that's inverted. 16% of people on JobSeeker are women 55 or over and 13% are men.
Groceries, bills and rent all cost the same whether you're 20 or you're 60.
The Greens among those calling for the JobSeeker rate to be increased across the board.
We are one of the wealthiest countries in the world, but we still have the lowest unemployment payment.
We will be very conscious of the pressure on younger Australians in the budget.
The Treasurer giving a nod to other cost of living measures in the mix, including a possible increase to Commonwealth rental assistance. But with the world economy in turmoil, continued fear of a global recession and higher interest rates likely to force unemployment up, Jim Chalmers doesn't want his budget to worsen inflation, which remains public enemy number one.
Police in Papua New Guinea have moved on protesters to clear a blockade of the Kokoda Trek. Landowners and workers for trekking company Adventure Kokoda had barricaded road entrances to the track.
The blockade that was put in place here on Saturday has been cleared out by police overnight. It was started by landowners and workers for Adventure Kokoda, one of the largest trekking companies here on the Kokoda track, and their frustration that the company's licence was cancelled last week. Now, in cancelling that licence, Environment Minister Simon Kalepa said that it was for the alleged evasion of paying trekking fees. That's an allegation that the company's owner, Charlie Lin, denies. But at any rate, that blockade has had quite a serious impact both on the community here as well as Australian trekking operators. The operators say that they've had quite a few groups call wondering if they should cancel, so there's certainly a financial impact there. But there's also a financial impact here in community here in Sogeri. We've heard from landowners as well as those at the market that they're worried that the blockade has damaged the reputation of the track and it will lead to financial losses.
Because most of our boys working along the track is they work with the Adventure Kokoda. So it will affect them in terms of job opportunity, and our mothers, they do a lot of selling when Adventure Kokoda comes out. We do a lot of marketing along the track.
To have them blocking the pathway like that was very embarrassing. You know, we will have a lot of the trekkers coming in, and when the blockage took place, really affected me very badly because I thought about those of us who benefit from this funding and little bits they receive from the trekking companies.
There are groups slated to come through the track in the coming days, and of course they will be able to get through now that the blockade has been cleared out. But it's certainly shaken a lot of faith in an industry that was just recovering after these very challenging COVID years and just got back into full swing for Anzac Day last month.
And that ends the news segment. We'll now have a look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours. That was the weather forecast. Terry Lonwood joins us with news in Digicel ExxonMobil Cup and netball. That's after the break. Stay tuned.
Remember the joy of playing with your toys as a child? At Money Plus, we believe that every small business deserves a chance to build and grow. That's why we offer asset financing.
Now chance to building something new, to see a different point of view. With Money Plus we're ready to go.
Mipla halivim wari belong you.
Am I gonna die? I was hoping to get to know you.
Every beginning is the end.
How is Robbie doing?
He's in the ER and needs the operation, but we're short on cash. What should we do now?
I will figure it out.
You attempted to rob a bank, but what for?
It wasn't my fault. Would you please believe me?
And every end is the start of something new.
I love you so much, Emma.
I will be Robbie's father from now on.
Well, folks, after literally years of negotiation between the fan and the management of Steve Menzies, we have secured the great man for the show. Welcome to the fan.
This is all going through my head, and then all of a sudden he passes it back. Oh, my God.
Today we have enlisted the help of Panthers co-captain and superstar halfback.
When you've kicked a while, you usually know, and especially on the chip kicks, I usually know.
Thanks to Nathan Cleary, invaluable insight for the fans out there, for the kids out there.
Am I gonna die? I was hoping to get to know you.
Every beginning is the end.
How is Robbie doing?
He's in the ER and needs the operation, but we're short on cash. What should we do now?
I will figure it out.
You attempted to rob a bank, but what for?
It wasn't my fault. Would you please believe me?
And every end is the start of something new.
I love you so much, Emma.
I will be Robbie's father from now on.
Starting to bubble up. Here's the lead. Oh, solid hit. Instant powerhouse from Papua New Guinea.
Welcome back. In sports, recent flight delays and cancellations by airline partners has forced the PNG NRLC board to come up with a new draw for the balance of the 2023 Digicel ExxonMobil Cup season. The announcement was made today in a joint media conference by PNG NRLC Board Director Lorna McPherson, PNG NRLC General Manager Lith Isaac, and PNG NRLC Manager Paul Joseph. The revised draw will see the 12 teams divided into two pools, A and B, with 6 in each pool.
While the 2023 Digicel ExxonMobil Cup competition has made a promising start to the new season, a number of participating teams travelling by air have their flights either delayed or cancelled. This has somewhat impacted the welfare and performance of teams who had to endure long delays before getting to game venues. After urgent consultations with naming rights sponsors, airline partners, accommodation partners, and all franchise owners, the PNG NRLC Chairman Adrian Chow and the board have come up with two pools that will see 6 teams compete in their respective pools for the balance of the 2023 season. On behalf of PNG NRLC NRLC Board Chow and Board Director Lorna McPherson said they are not immune to challenges and must come up with tough decisions to mitigate the problem for the good of the competition.
And now the PNG NRLC take this opportunity to advise its stakeholders, franchisees and followers of the Cup of the new draws, which will commence in round 4 for this weekend. We're really determined as a team to see the 2023 game continue and also continue successfully. So far the games have just been amazing, they've been fabulous. I've watched the games every week and the games are exciting. You can see the difference in the game, the quality of the players and where the game is going.
When announcing the new draw and how long the pool games will run for, PNG NRLC manager Paul Joseph noted that because of the pool system, the number of rounds have reduced from 18 to 16. Pool A has Lacenecks Tigers, PRK Mendimuruks, WNBPG Kimbekatas, Bintango Goroka Lahanis, Wampnamau Targan Eagles and the EPG Engamioks. Pool B has the Gulf ISO, Gas Resources Central Dabaris, Moniplus NCDC Port Moresby Vipers, EMK Sipik Pride, Egmak Rabaul Gurias and the Croton Hella Wigmen. At the end of the pool games, the 2 top teams in each pool will be on bye, while crisscross with the top 3 in Pool A play bottom 3 from Pool B and bottom 3 Pool A meet top 3 in Pool B before the next elimination round in week 2.
So each team will play each other twice, so some teams will end up playing teams 3 times because of the first match in the first 3 rounds.
Joseph elaborates on the finals playoff and the number of weeks involved.
The top 3 teams in Pool A will cross over to play the bottom 3 of Pool B, and the top 3 in Pool B will cross over to play bottom 3 of the Pool A teams.
Salome Vincent, TV1 Sports.
4 nations will battle for supremacy in the region's pinnacle premier women's rugby competition, the Oceania Rugby Women's Championship. The Gold Coast City Council and Bourne University, with support from the Pacific All Sports, are proud to host for the first time at Bourne University, Gold Coast from 26 May to 4 June. The 2023 event holds greater importance than ever before as Papua New Guinea, Fiji, Samoa and Tonga are contending for qualification in the brand new World Rugby Global Women's 15s competition in Europe in October this year. The event will also serve as a platform for Pacific players to be selected for the Oceania Women's Combined in August this year, in which the selectors will identify potential players to join Australia's Super W teams on the Pacific All Sports Scholarship. Rabaul Egmak Gurias coach Francis Ray congratulated PRK Mendimuruks on their 18-2 win against them Inlay on Monday. Ray said his boys were doing well in attack and defense until Gurias prop Daniel Pai was sin-binned for a high shot in the second half of the round 3 TVWAN ExxonMobil Cup match. The Gurias' lack of composure cost them numerous trying scoring opportunities. On the other hand, Mendimuruks head coach Roderick Paname admitted that their first half did not go well as planned, but he was happy that the team managed to work together, which saw them score a converted try in the second half.
The team, as you could say, the first half guys were trying to individually win the game for us, and then playing that whole 80 minutes. Basically going back now, we just got to try working as a team and then just build that pressure, winning the game at the last 20 minutes and all that stuff. So, and then the important part is just being patient. That's all. We lost 13 of our regulars from last year. So, but that's not an excuse. We got a good squad now. We had 6 weeks to prepare before coming into the competition. So we're a work in progress. We'll get better as we go on. So
basically, our boys let themselves down in the second half. We were doing well in both attack and defense until one of our players got sent off for a high shot, and that was the turning point. Our men was we were men shocked, so the Muruks took advantage of the situation. They scored quick tries, and that's where everything.
for scoring the winning goal against the New Zealand Whites in the Oceania Champions League, which granted PNG the first ever World Cup challenge. CPL Rebels recorded its first loss in opening 2 rounds of the Port Moresby netball competition. Telstra handed this loss in round 2 over the weekend.
CPL Rebels started the Port Moresby netball competition with 1 win and a loss after the opening 2 rounds of the competition. In the first loss of the season against Telstra, the Rebels were far more convincing. Their goal defense was clunky and so was their goal shooting. But the team is ready to bounce back in the round 3 contest. Rebels vice-captain Serena Ovia highlighted that the team fell short to Telstra with a big winning margin of 11 goals to 37, but they are ready to adjust their attack to come back strong this weekend. Ovia admitted that they had issues scoring goals, as well as defense. They've gone back to the drawing board to fix it.
So we're hoping to polish up our attack and our defense, but really it's the basics of netball, the passes and our footwork that we really need to polish up.
Ovia is a former member of the national team, the PNG Peppers. She was the shining light in the last week match. She controls the ball mostly around the court and was the go-to player for the team. Serena is positive that the team will bounce back this weekend. CPL Rebel is one of the teams participating in Port Moresby netball competition. Rex Lita, TV1 Sports.
And that's the sports segment for today. Mary.
Thank you, Terry. That ends another edition of TV1 News. Thanks for your company. Until then, bye for now.
Bye.
The TV1 News was proudly brought to you by BSP, our bank, our people.